Hello. So this channel is usually about architecture and lyricism, but today we're going to talk about teeth, which is which are super important to your overall health and important for me to share. I mean, they're important for me and important for me to share with you if you're here listening to this, if this is something you're concerned about. Oh, it's shaky. Oh, so I'm just gonna go back towards the beginning. I have 9 amalgam fillings currently and 2 white fillings. I think they're like a composite, the composite plastic filling. So the amalgam fillings are ones that a lot of people are concerned about for a number of reasons. The main one floating around is mercury content, and I'm kind of concerned about that as well. So the filling is 50% liquid, which is the mercury, and then 50% a powder. I think it's metals like copper, tin, and I forget what else. And these things mix to create the amalgam filling. Okay, so if you don't mind, let's take a look. You see the 4 in the back over there on the bottom, and then there's 1 on each side. 1, 2. And I hate to make an insinuation, but I find it kind of funny that my cavities formed so symmetrically on both sides. Like on those back 2 teeth, the other ones didn't have any, and then that same tooth on the sides. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Okay, moving on. And then on the top, I've got 1 amalgam on one side, 2 amalgams on the other side, and then somewhere in there are 2 white fillings that have had problems. That one of them is cracked. You can't see the white ones, but you can see the amalgams. You can see the amalgams back there. All right. Sorry for getting so up close and personal, so into your personal space, but enough of that. Okay. So one of the problems with fillings, before I go there, let's back it all the way up. Modern dentistry is a wonderful thing. A lot of people live longer today than they have historically. Most people do. And one of the reasons, other than other medicine being developed to an outstanding degree, is modern dentistry being developed to an outstanding degree, where a filling of a tooth can be a wonderful thing, can save a tooth from dying. A root canal can save a tooth. These can be great things. Now, the flip side of that is, see, there are two sides to every story, or more, at least 2. I mean, I don't know about every, but all right, most stories have at least 2 sides. So the flip side is, to fill the cavity, you have to drill a lot of healthy tooth structure. You just have to. You got to do that to make room for the filling. I find that problematic, and I think that's problematic probably in many cases because there's a good amount of literature floating around now about small cavities. If you like eat better and take care of your teeth, brush and floss well, the cavity will start to reverse. I think that's amazing news. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew to like ask for a second dentist. I read online about this kid whose dad was a dentist. And again, this is not scientific. It was on a forum, but there were a number of stories like this. And this kid went to a dentist. The dentist said he had 3 cavities. He went to his dad, who was a dentist. The dad checked and said, "You actually don't have any cavities." So, I mean, there is incentive. We live in capitalism. There's incentive to fill the tooth. You know, you got to drill for the oil. Again, I'm insinuating. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop doing that. Okay. Mercury poisoning. I think I had mercury poisoning as a kid. I really do. There were like too many times where I had headaches that were too terrible right around the time that I started getting the fillings. And you do get exposed to more mercury when they're being put in. The amount that's coming off daily is a very small amount, but I'm still concerned about it. I've got some documents from the FDA and the ADA American, I don't know if it's Dental Association or American Dentistry Association, but I've got some text from them. I'll open up in a bit. I had mercury poisoning as a kid, 100%. I started getting memory problems around that time, forgetting where I put my homework. I thought I did my homework, didn't I? Rummaging through all these papers, making a mess, papers everywhere, and then finally finding it, into class after I was supposed to have turned it in, just being a complete mess. And it's also affected a number of things. I'm not saying this is related. I think I feel like it is, though. And I bet there's very little scientific research to prove this, but you notice some of these teeth in the front bottom here have moved out of place slightly. That's from biting my nails and cuticles. And you see my cuticles are in pretty bad shape also. It's been a few days I haven't been biting. I got some vitamin E oil. I'm going to be putting those on my fingertips daily. So the biting habit kind of started when I started getting fillings. And I don't think that's related to the mercury. I think that's related to I haven't seen literature on this, but the stress from the drill on the teeth. I think something felt like it wasn't right. And it felt that way for some amount of time after getting a number of fillings. And this habit started, and as you can see, I haven't let it go. 20 years later, I'm still biting the hell out of my cuticles. And it's really bad when a lot of stress is introduced into my environment, like if I'm in an exam setting or a deadline setting or that kind of thing. Like the biting gets worse, but as soon as I notice it, I stop. It's when I forget that I'm doing it and I do it, but then I stop. So hopefully stopping biting my cuticles, fingertips, nails, it's not my nails as much, but stopping this will help stop those teeth from moving out further. And so let me go back to what I'm thinking about with these amalgam fillings. I'm considering getting them replaced. I spoke with a couple dentists with porcelain, thinking of getting them replaced with porcelain. Porcelain gives off the least toxic substance of all the types of fillings, apparently. There is a small amount of BPA in the adhesive, but you get that from bottled water. And I want to, again, give the other side of the story. You're going to see a lot of scare tactics online about, remove all your amalgam fillings right now. You're getting mercury poisoning. If you do that all at once, you may face a lot worse problems. You may get exposed to a lot of mercury in the removal process, because that's when you get the most exposure, when they're being put in or when they're being removed. When they're in place, they are mostly inert. There's a little bit of gas that comes off, as is discussed by the FDA. Vapor, sorry. The little bit of vapor that comes off. So sometimes it's a better idea to leave them in. If the filling is big, it's close to the edge of the tooth might crack. You get a lot of excess heat from the drill when it's being drilled. There was a guy on YouTube talking about how he got all of his fillings replaced at once, and then one by one he started getting problems in the teeth, tremendous pain, and then the tooth died, shattered, had to be taken out. So that's a case where excess heat from the drill was no good for him, and he might have been better off having left his amalgam fillings in place. Okay, I'm just trying to cover all my bases. Man, I'm really pouring out a lot here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is a lot coming out. All right, let's get into these documents. So first, I'm going to quote ADA. This is ada.org, and this is called What Others Say. So we've got the Alzheimer's Association saying, according to the best available scientific evidence, there's no relationship between silver dental fillings and Alzheimer's. I don't doubt that. I think the issues that these amalgam fillings cause are very subtle issues that take place over a long period of time, and they're hard to measure and substantiate. And I don't think they directly cause Alzheimer's. I really don't. As the study shows, Mayo Clinic amalgam fillings are safe. A great deal of research has examined these fillings and found them to be an effective, long-lasting treatment for dental decay. Yeah, they last long. And but my dentist was telling me, I've heard multiple dentists say this, that the amalgam filling does sometimes cause the tooth to kind of decay underneath it, and it's not that good for the tooth. So all around, I'm thinking porcelain is better, but it's just a little bit of healthy tooth structure has to be drilled out in the replacement process. So that could be problematic. All right, so let's get into the FDA. This is fda.gov. It's a page called About Dental Amalgam Fillings. And you could pull this up probably if you just Google FDA about amalgam fillings. Did I say that sentence correctly? You could pull this up on Google if you Google search for FDA about amalgam fillings, I'm sure. All right. Somewhere towards the bottom. Yes. So it's a portion called, is the mercury in dental amalgam the same as the mercury in some types of fish? It says the answer is no. And then it goes in to describe the differences. The mercury from fish, it says, is elemental mercury, inorganic mercury, and methyl mercury. It's saying these are the different types of mercury. So the form of mercury associated with dental amalgam is elemental mercury, which releases mercury vapor. The one associated with fish is methyl mercury and is a type of organic mercury. The mercury vapor is absorbed mainly by the lungs. So the mercury coming off of the amalgam fillings is mainly absorbed by the lungs. The other mercury that comes from the fish is mostly absorbed through the digestive tract. So, and I think I saw somewhere, I think it was on, I can't find this now, but I think it was on ADA where they were talking about the amount of mercury that comes off from 4 fillings is equivalent to the amount of mercury to get from 1 serving of fish a day or something. So it's a very small amount. But if that's compounding daily and I have 9 of them, that's something I'm going to be concerned about. So the plan is to work on 1 quadrant at a time, maybe every 6 months or so, have them taken out, and within 2 years, all the mercury will be gone. And at that point, I plan to do a heavy metal cleanse, a detox type of thing. I'll hopefully keep this video up. I might take it down, but I'll hopefully keep it up and keep posting process updates as it goes on. I'm sorry for saying a lot. I'm sorry for being all over the place. I'm just spilling everything out here. I haven't been posting an awful lot because I've been working on getting my license, and I've passed 5 exams, but 2 of them were in the old version. They didn't transfer. I've got 4 passes. I've got, I'm in the last stretch here. Just a few left to get my license in California, to finish the national exam, the architect registration exam, and then the California supplemental. Anyways, I digress. Thank you for listening. Keep in touch. Let me know what your experiences are with these fillings. Do you think I'm overthinking this? Do you think I'm on the right track? What have you experienced? Man, I hope I didn't miss anything. This was really a lot to get out. No, I think I got everything out. All right. Thank you so much. Peace out. Comment at me, email me, whatever. Get at me later.